sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. But
Go ahead.
Would plugins into Firefox and that be potentially affected by this as well?
It could be. You know, I don't know much about the whole plugin community for some of these browsers, but if the plugin somehow uses their own compiled version of SSL, anything that uses the vulnerable libraries, if they've compiled it into their product, it's vulnerable.
They review the code that gets submitted through the open source libraries to the open SSL.
Who reviews it? The community reviews it. And that's, so that's a good plug. Yeah.
I don't know how it works, but there's still a community of researchers and designated people that do that, and they review their own project.
I think they are now.
Yeah, well, people are going to look more closely at their projects now, certainly. Every time one of these incidents happens, it brings it sheds a large light on the practices and what we're doing. The open source community is tough. I mean, you got people volunteering their time to support these projects, and sure, they take donations, but I think I read last week that they hit an all-time record one-day donation of $841. I mean, this is a product that's used by 66% of the world, but, you know.
The other thing is, this is so low level. So there's lots of people for Python projects and other stuff. This is so low level, and a lot of people weren't thinking about it. There were only a handful of people supporting the project with their efforts, not necessarily money.
Anything else?
Yeah, hopefully it's not a dumb question, but you had a list of some of the client software that would be affected by it. Is there a good source to go, or just standard Google search?
Right, it's an emerging list right now.
Okay.
Until researchers can get their hands on all the various client softwares that might have SSL in them, we're never going to know. I mean, this is just one researcher. What I showed you, that small list, was one researcher. He had access to a dozen different clients, and he tested them. This all happened to people.
And also, I wouldn't take, at least now, I wouldn't take the list that says gospel, because there's stuff I've seen where they said, no, this is safe, and then they came back, well, like, how come?
Right.
Oh, no, it's not. Oops.
Yeah, I think we're going to be hearing about this for a few months, years.
From a PR perspective, I've seen a lot of companies, even if they're not vulnerable at all, releasing statements saying that.
I've seen companies that don't even use SSL making
Oh,
statements.
right.
We're safe.
Right. So it's an interesting, I don't remember this in previous security.
Yeah, you know, it's like statistics or anything else. Take stuff at face value, or don't take it at face value.
Right.
Take what's being published right now with some healthy skepticism. Like when you see a list of every large financial sector company saying, no, we're not vulnerable to this. You don't know who they're using for their managed service contracts, third-party providers, and where their traffic's going through.
I just did an interview with CNN today too. It's a lot larger of a problem than just websites. You have embedded devices, you have industrial control things, you have all of these other things that we're not even looking at that are going to be vulnerable to these attacks. So.
ICS makes so much.
Yeah.
They're
I'm about to say,
or
ICS should be okay on because they're using old open SSL libraries from like 6 years ago. So
they're vulnerable to something else.
Right. But at least the people that implement them are. But I mean, so it's a lot larger, I think, than just the websites and servers we see out there.
Anybody hungry? All right, go eat.
Thanks. So before everybody expects like an actual meal, so we're pretty limited as what we could get. So I got pop, water, chips, and some really crappy